Skype, all of it. So we have this imperative to make everything as rich as it possibly can be. So given that, there is yet another idea or theory that's related to all of this, and basically the same thing, called Reduced Social Cues Model, or RSC. OMG. LOL. BRB. And that basically says that there are some ups and downs to the very idea that we lack some of the cues, the nonverbal cues, and otherwise on CMC. So, for instance, anonymity. Because we're not there, we can be anonymous. We can have anonymous blogs, use fake names, so, and that can be very liberating. You can do stuff perhaps that you could not do otherwise if people knew that you were doing it. I don't know. I mean, they can be bad too at the same time. I mean, everything's a double-edged sword or something. Also, there's this idea, because we are not physically there, we are disinhibited. So we say things, we do those things, they're called the flames, when people will say nasty things about people and send it to them, and they feel like a little bit disinhibited because I am not there physically, so they can't punch me for this. So a lot of that can be problematic, but also liberating. Maybe I can say stuff that I want to say that I would never feel comfortable saying face to face. Like, I want to protest against this or that. It's amazing how Trump used tweets. I wonder if he ever says stuff like that to people, to their face. I have no idea. It's amazing how, because we're not physically there, we have a little bit more courage, I suppose, to say the stuff that we are uncomfortable or lack the courage of saying in person. But in any case, there's also this idea of de-individuation that's all part of this stuff, and that is oftentimes we lose a sense of self. We become disidentified with ourselves and lose focus because we become part of some sort of groupness that is social media, or some sort of group on Facebook, or some sort of group on whatever. So, for instance, we mindlessly share things. We mindlessly believe that this news is real, though it might not be real, because I'm part of this. And then what happens oftentimes is, particularly and this is more bad than good, because birds of a feather tend to flock together on the internet as in other places. So you will tend to like and friend and all that type of stuff people who are like you. And a lot of people say this creates a polarization, that the more you talk to people who are just like you, the more you communicate with people who are just like you, and then therefore the less that you communicate with people who are not like you, we polarize our views on things. We become extremes. Well, I think we're living in that world right now. But it's amazing. A lot of folks have talked about how the internet can be the big, so democratic, blah, 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 blah. But usually we are friends with people who disagree, who agree with us. And what has happened over the past several weeks, I've seen so much crap on Facebook. I can't believe you voted for Trump. I'm going to defriend you. That's not nice. But but in any case, so there is a sense that just the nature of CMC and the lack of cues in part provokes this polarization. And also this sense of, that's spelled wrong, conformity. Oftentimes we feel like if something is popular on the internet, we feel like we should conform to those ideas. Yeah, that's always there face-to-face or online, I would think. But I think since we're sometimes a little bit mindless on the internet, we oftentimes conform a little bit easier or more easily But in any case, so all this stuff impacts issues of how we use CMC, so chapter one, but also issues of what we allow to be on the internet. So all the issues of privacy and everything like that. So I say, okay, I'm bored now. There is a very important idea from Irving Goffman, and you've probably heard this before, but I mean, image management, impression management. I mean, I've already said that that's one of the main functions of CMC, how we manage the impression that we give off to other people, how we manage or play with the impression that we give off to one another, and also how we help form and shape impressions of others. So we are always constantly performing online and face-to-face in certain ways, so people will see us in certain ways. They will have certain impressions of us, so we want to try to perform certain ways to manage those impressions, because I want you to see me as this. I want you to, I mean, it's not always, it doesn't work out always, but nonetheless. So, the next little slide here is, and now for something totally inappropriate, or maybe, what's next? How is it? I'm going to sort of end here, but what I want you to think about and ponder, maybe you can tweet about this. What are some of the most inappropriate things that you have seen people share on the internet? And why do you think that's inappropriate? Why do you think something might be weird? You shouldn't do that. That's private. That's not for the internet. Why do you think that? Why do you think people have different perspectives of what is weird or inappropriate or private, whereas other people think, oh no. There's a lot of, I think, current thinking that because CMC has such a huge impact on our lives, that something is not real until it is posted. So-and-so gets engaged. It's not real until it's posted. So-and-so is having a baby. It's not real until it is posted. So-and-so passed away. Posted. There was a story about the funeral selfies, folks taking selfies and posting them when they're at the funeral. I think one of my other students talked about how one of her friends put some of those Instagram flower things on her passed away grandmother. She saw it as beautiful, as nice, but why? So here's the big point. I do think there's something about the nature of CMC that springs from this whole notion of we don't have all these nonverbal cues, even though we are constantly trying to compensate for that. That changes the way that we think about what should be private and what should not be private, what is appropriate, what is not appropriate, what should be shared and what should not be shared. And it's not just about the internet and Facebook and Instagram and all that stuff and what's that thing, the crazy thing, that thing. Where are you? What's Snapchat? Yeah, Snapchat. I want to Snapchat myself, giving a lecture. Hello. Hi, I'm giving a lecture. I don't want to put. How do I put little things on me? I want to put no Columbia College stuff. Time. Where are the little? Oh, there they are. No text. No, I'm wasting your time right now. Oh, I don't know how to do this. Okay. No, I don't want to search. Duh. Oh. See, I told you I don't know how to do this. I don't know what the hell's going on. Ooh, what was that? Oh, that's funky. What the hell's that? Can I just take... That actually looks like me. What the hell was I talking about? So it's what is weird and what is not weird, what is normal, what is not normal, and the nature of CMC and it being, you know, anonymous, disinhibitive, and all these different things. I think has impacted all aspects of our lives and what we think is normal. And so I'll leave you with that. And look, it's like my monkeys. Diet Coke is good.